All right. Man, so much has changed since yesterday. Go ahead.
Can you talk a little bit about Leonard Williams, just what he means to this team defensively as a player and just a personality for this team?
Man, he's one of our driving forces. You got to give him a lot of credit on his approach since, we met him a year ago. We knew he was an awesome guy. We knew he was a great football player, but what we needed from him was more in terms of a leadership role and asserting himself. And he does it his style, but at this point in your career, to challenge yourself to take it to another level, I think that speaks volumes for who he is. And our coaches, they deserve a shout out too because they saw it in him and work with them, consistently. Leslie does a great job with that AD. Well, obviously we love him, but there's high expectations too. I mean, he's got to win. He's got to win rushes. He's got to be disruptive in the run game. He's got to set other guys up when they're giving him attention in the blocking or in their protection scheme. So, but that's what you want as a premier player. You want that added attention.
How do you feel just, I guess, kind of wrapping up the offseason now and kind of where you guys are, what you guys have got?
Yeah, you try to put it in perspective. The feeling you want coming out, like going into the whole offseason program, we wanted to be tough and connected. I think we're on our way to being tough. We haven't had to prove it yet with pads on, but definitely feel like we're a connected group. I think we've made a lot of strides confidence-wise in the schemes that we're running and understand what's expected and how we roll here in general. So really excited about this group. They're a lot of fun to coach. I think I speak for the whole coaching staff when I say that. And it's good that we're going into a break here so we can kind of regather and take a breath and then kind of recalibrate going into camp. But I'll tell you what, I think I speak for the whole team. We're really excited to get this thing going, starting at training camp.
Mike, what's your assessment of where the offense is going into camp?
I think right where they need to be. It's tough to assess right now. It really is. It's going to come to life when you can separate the defense. We're falling forward on some of these runs, and all of a sudden it's 2nd and 4 rather than, hey, we're just kind of, it looks like a soft spot right there, or we broke a tackle. That's where it really comes to life when you're wearing defenses down, and then here comes the actions and the movements that you have to honor the run game. So I think we'll have a better feel a couple weeks into training camp, and at that point you're going to start making decisions on narrowing down schematically of where we want to kind of center our focus. Both personnel-wise and, you can't be doing everything all the time, so you're going to have to make some decisions as camp starts to unfold.
About that, the guys have talked about that. When did you learn, not simplifying, but focus on fewer things and being great at that? Who taught you that, or when did that come to really be good?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Earlier in my career, like when I was a GA, we didn't execute very well, and we didn't play very confidently, so that was kind of a bummer. And then, going to Baltimore, there was such elegant simplicity behind some of the calls we had, and you're like, man, we could just say 2 words, and all this comes to life, and the guys know it, and that was really cool. So there's some magic going on there, and then you go to Michigan, and you got to make some decisions on what you're going to do, So I think we've kind of settled on, hey, there's a complementary set of things that we want to be able to get really, really good at, and then let's mix and match it based on who we got and have a clear vision about what we're trying to create too. You got to know where you're going so you can make decisions.
This isn't the best setting, obviously, to evaluate offensive linemen, but just based on what you have been able to see from Grey Zabel, what have you thought of what he's done so far?
Really excited about Grey. He's what we thought he was up to this point. I mean, he's going to be that. Again, hard to go, but just certain intentionality, going through the drills, hitting his spots, communicating, being decisive with Charles on the left side. I think those guys are working really well together. So, really fired up to see him in the fall. With the great competition, the one-on-ones, getting the pads on. It's going to be a lot of fun to compete with the D-line.
Just the offensive line in general, I mean, that's how everybody's at this offseason.
Yeah.
What's your assessment of that group?
Well, I can tell you what, right now, what are you looking for? You want growth every day. You want the guys having the right mindset, finishing plays the right way. You know, you can't do it physically, but you can chase the ball, you can run out of the stack, you can take the line of scrimmage. So the operation right now is good. You know, I think it's something that we're still chasing. I mean, I'd say very good. But we'll see. And there's a lot of competition. Like we haven't settled some of the spots, and that's good. That means we have a lot of guys that are options. So that's exciting.
Sorry if you already answered this, but you guys rotated along the offensive line into the season last year.
Yeah.
Do you have an idea of like when you're hoping to see some of that settle and training?
Yeah, I think we'd like to make some decisions sooner than later, but we're going to let the play speak for itself. You know, we're not going to force decisions, but we're going to be intentional on what happens probably within the first 2 weeks.
Follow up on Brady's question on Gray, just the rookies in general. How are you seeing that class just with the learning and growing so far?
You know, they allow us to have a lot of time with these guys, and they don't really have a place to go after, so they're here a lot. But what are you going to do with that time? Are you going to make the most of it? Are you going to take advantage of it? Are you going to spend time with one another? You know, you can eat meals together. Are you going to watch extra tape? These are the things that these guys are doing. And, you know, we kind of hinted it at them, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. They're making those decisions on their own, which is really exciting. So it tells me they're a tight unit, and they really care about what shows up on tape and really their careers, and they're taking ownership for what shows up out there. So, again, early. We'll see when we're playing real football, but I'm optimistic.
How do you see from Anthony Bradford?
AB's done a great job this spring. His body comp is really improved, which speaks to his work ethic. I think he's made strides. Now let's go. You know, it's time to go prove it consistently. He knows that, and but he's right in the thick of it with the battle at right guard.
What are your thoughts on the receiver battle right now? You got a lot of guys returning to Rebels rosters like Jake Bobo, Cody White looks like he's been making plays out there.
Yeah.
He's now added to the equation. But what are your thoughts about that competition where things stand right now?
Well, it's exciting, and it's going to come down to a large part to how they play on special teams. You know, can you move people? Can you block people? Can you get people on the ground? Who's going to play gunner for us? Who's going to be our personal protector? Who's going to be our punt returner? I mean, all those things are haven't been settled yet. So, and go make plays on offense. You know, can you dig out a safety and be a force out there, and also come alive in the pass game as well? And how does that complement the skill sets, you know, of Coop and Jax and Quez? So, but yeah, really excited about those guys. But it'll come to life, you know, throughout the preseason.
You mentioned punt return. Both return jobs. You'll have somebody new this year from last year. How do you feel like those groups are in competition?
The punt returner.
And both return jobs.
We're repping a bunch of guys right now, and we'll see. You know, that's why we signed Sims, and in large part. But we got some competition there, and kick return battle too. So it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Mike, how do you think time on task will help someone like Coby Bryant in second field?
Man, how can I compliment Coby the best? And he talked about this to the team, and KO did a great presentation for Coby in front of the guys the other day. And what stuck out to me was just like his intentionality, and he cared about the minor details all the time, even though his role wasn't a starter as a get-go. So he has that chip on his shoulder naturally because he's just a great competitor. But those are the type of guys we want, that they're not going to be deterred by things that are outside of their control. And when he finally got his opportunity, you know, he knocked it out of the park, and he's earned himself a great role on our football team. And so you take all that effort that he's done and move that forward, and it's just been expedited, and he's in a great position. I know he's playing really confident right now, and you feel him out there. So we're excited for Coby.
How do you feel about your quarterback depth? Kind of the guys behind
Corner.
Yeah.
Corner or quarter?
Corner.
I knew you were asking that. Great. Yeah, we got, you know, again, these are great battles going into the offseason. Now, I mean, are we not going to look to always improve our team in any aspect? No, we're always going to be out there and try to be in everything, and chasing edges on making us better. But the guys that are with us right now, kind of in that 3, 4, 5 spot, is exciting. I mean, the guys are doing a great job, but go nail it this summer and come back and go compete your butt off.
At right guard, Mike, it seems like it's been mostly Christian and Bradford working with the ones. Do you anticipate that still being a two-man race in camp, or is there more opportunity for more guys getting involved?
Okay, yeah, we'll see when the pads come on, because you got to work out the center position. Tawa's part of that equation. The rookies really haven't seen live and in color, so I wouldn't say it's a two-man race right now. It's more open.
Mike, you've been having Nick all over the place, working with linebacker, safety, corner, kind of all. What have you learned about his skill set out here on the field with you guys, and what do you think he can do with you compared to what you found when you drafted him?
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, there's a lot of things we're going to ask of him, and you're kind of in this phase now where you're exposing him to a lot of things to see what hits, what doesn't. So you have a better feel for what you're going to ask him to do when we start getting close to game time. So, but his spirit about it and attitude, okay, I'm going to go do this drill today. Great. I'm going to go do this drill. Awesome. Just keep building those skills and, keep training yourself to be the best player you can. And it's up to us as a coaching staff to keep putting him in positions where he can do stuff that he does well. So, like I said, we've talked about this at length, but just with a guy with that attitude that he's had every day is just really fun to work with.
Which spots are you most excited about the competition you're seeing?
Oh, man. I haven't really thought of it through that lens. Wide out, tight end, offensive line. What four guys are going to pass rush? Like, what four guys work the best? The back end of our DB room. Who can play gunner for us? Who's going to play punt returner for us? What else? Who's going to play fullback for us? Backup linebacker. Fourth safety spot. It's not trying to be a smart aleck, but it really is all those things.
If you look at the offseason, one guy or one group really stick out as a surprise, pleasant surprise.
We're a young team, and these guys have a gravity about them. They just really have a great spirit about them, and so we're young, but I feel like we're mature. And then we do have a great couple guys vets that they don't have to be here, and they could say, hey, look, I'm a vet, I got my money, I know what's expected of me, I can show up, and everything's great. You can do that, and there's guys that do that, and they do a great, it is what it is. But our guys really decided to be invested in these young guys, and they care about where this team goes, and man, that fires you up.
Mike, beyond just the offensive line, what are some things that the scheme itself does to make life easier on quarterback line, pass protection?
Man, I think it allows the quarterback to play decisive. It puts pressure on the defense. It does. You can't get fancy because you'll get gashed. So you have to play sound football at all times. It's going to separate the levels of the defense. So it's putting your second level players in conflict consistently as a play caller. You're taking risks consistently. If you really want to put pressure on the offense. So, and it's all systematic. So it's not like, hey, do this one day and then do this the other day. It's just, no, we kind of live in this lane, and then we, scramble it up and make it look different and take advantage of matchups that way. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but I thought that was a pretty good answer.
An injury, I don't know if you want to talk about injuries, but Uchenna and Wuso, do you expect him back for camp or?
Yeah, we'll see with Uchenna. All the timetable stuff is a little funky right now.
Last question. Jalen Milroe, where have you seen him grow the most since looking at now?
Man, a lot of growth. The whole team's growing. Shoot, I'm growing. You see the poise, the fundamental stuff, what we're asking with footwork and timing and reads. I'd actually just said him today on routes on air. I was like, man, how much different does it feel right now compared to 2 months ago? And gave me a big smile. I was just like, man, I just feel great, but you don't just do that just by showing up every day. You got to be really intentional, and we're on record with his work ethic and stuff, and that's really impressive. So he's earned kind of that feeling of confidence right now. He's earned that feeling going into the summer.
4:30 a.m. at factory?
I'm not here at 4:30, so I can't tell you that specifically.
All right, thank you.
All right, see you guys.